Well, guys, we on the road this morning. Got a couple stops to make. We're down in Murphy this morning. Got to stop here at our Lowe's down here. I'm going to also stop at a mill. Talked to a mill yesterday on the phone. They have some lumber sitting around that they're, would say, trying to get rid of, but they have some stuff for sale that we're definitely interested in, and it is certainly the right price. So we'll see if I can't film some of that while we're there. It seems like a pretty big operation. Most of the folks I deal with generally are kind of like mom and pop, just like a guy in his backyard with a bandsaw mill, that type of thing. But this seems like a no kidding legit mass production type facility. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Like I said, we got some stops to make. Got to pick up some little knickknacks, things to keep the day going. Lots going on. Had a delivery yesterday. Quite a bit to show you today, so we'll see how things go. All right, guys, hang in there. All right, guys, I'm back for my little outing. Stopped by that mill, and that mill is exactly what you kind of thought a massive sawmill operation would look like. Probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 employees out there walking around, machines running, forklifts, grapples all over the place. I only grabbed one picture because the guy, he was a talker, so and we did quite a bit of back and forth, and I didn't really have a chance to kind of just break out the phone and be like, hold up, so anyway, I just grabbed a quick picture when I was hopping back in the car, and it's of like the debarker that's pulling all the bark off the trees and stuff before it goes down the line. And hopefully that'll give you some sense. If not, I don't know, watch the Discovery Channel. I'm sure it'll, they have some sort of like how products in the US are made, that type of thing. But it was absolutely massive. He said he had about 500,000 board feet of logs on the property. That was just logs themselves. There were stacks and stacks upon stacks of cut lumber. Now this was all rough sawn lumber. Most of it was circle cut, so they have big blades that they run around, not quite like what you see nowadays with folks in their backyard. Have a bandsaw, either wood miser or Norwood, something like that, cutting wood. So it had a really nice looking finish to it. That rough sawn lumber is what I'm kind of looking for. Anyway, I don't think it's going to work out with getting the wood out of there. It's really just a logistical issue. It's about an hour and 10 minutes away, which isn't bad, but their stuff is sold in bundles, and you need heavy equipment. You need a forklift to get it off the truck. They don't deliver, so you're going to have to get your own method of getting these massive bundles out of there. Now, these guys, I mean, obviously they deliver, or they provide lumber and things to furniture makers or flooring companies and things like that, people that already have 18-wheelers and stuff like that are just showing up. They load up and they move out. So me being the small consumer, it's just a little too much. I love the prices they have, but it's like I said, it's a logistical issue that by the time I found somebody to haul stuff like that, and once they got it here to the house, I'd have to unload it board by board. It's just one of those things that it's just a little tough to kind of do. Is just a small operation like this. Anyway, let me show you what has happened over the last couple days. We got our first real delivery of I guess building materials and stuff. I got 100 bags of 80-pound concrete mix, so pre-mix and stuff. So this was dropped off the other day. I've got a picture, the Lowe's guy dropped it off, and he had this off the truck and stacked up here within 5 minutes of him being up the driveway here. So, and then he actually provided this little plastic sheet that went over the top of it, which I thought was pretty cool. He says, "You want something to put over the top of it?" I said, "No, I got a tarp and stuff that I was going to use." And I said, well, I mean, you know, what do you mean? I didn't know if he meant he was going to put some more of this, like this cheapo plastic stuff over it. Like that really wouldn't have done much for me. But this is a rather thick, probably 3 or 4 mil, maybe a 5 mil piece of plastic. So that'll come in handy. I'll use that somewhere else around the property. And then every time. So this is 100 bags, like I said, 100 bags. And the exciting part is that it's dropped off here in the driveway of the house. And of course, the driveway for the property or the cabins is not in yet. So I get the exciting time of having to take it all the way down there. So I'm probably gonna stack it into my little trailer that I have for the 4-wheel and take it down there. Maybe 10 bags at a time, something like that. So that's exciting. That's exciting. So let me show you what else we got going on. All right, so when I was down the other day at my little Lowe's here, I need a way to get, I needed about 200 more feet of water line to get water down to where I'm going to actually be mixing this concrete. And hoses, 100-foot hoses, they were all kind of like the contractor type hoses and the heavy duty type stuff. I really didn't need anything like that. They were $60 to $80 a roll. So this is just a light duty 25 foot. I got 4 of them. So, oh, I'm sorry, they're 50 feet. I got 4 of them. So that's 200 feet of water line here. So I'll have no problem now getting the water down to the job site. And then the other day, I ordered from Northern Tool this Kushlin cement mixer. This is it's massive. I can't believe the size of it. It's a 6 cubic foot mixer. The thing is massive. It's got everything I read. Ooh, looks like we got a delivery. Let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah. Okay, that turned out to not really be some building materials, just some other crap that I ordered. But anyway, back to this thing. Like I said, this thing is absolutely a monster. There's really no way I can show kind of how big this is. Anyway, it's got a 3/4 horsepower motor on the back of it. From all the stuff I read and everything, most of the little home jobbies of these come with like a little 1/2 horsepower motor, and you're mixing maybe two 80-pound bags at a time. So this here's got a 3/4 horse, is 6.5 cubic feet, something like that, and I can do four bags at a time. So in having to run through this much amount of concrete, this is really going to make my job, I wouldn't say easier, because there's nothing easy about mixing concrete, but this should take some of the load off here, being able to get it done a little quicker. Anyway, so there's that part. So one of the funny things that happened the other day, and I'll just talk you through this to let you know how this kind of went down. Well, I hurt my back, so I'm kind of hobbling around a little bit, and this was just a twinge that happened in my back, really doing almost absolutely nothing. So we have had quite a bit of rain lately this past week, and everything was quite rainy. So it was dry for a couple days, and well, maybe the next day I went down to cabin 1 where I have the footers already dug and everything. Take a look in the holes, and there's 2 inches or so of water in them. So I wanted to check, you know, having water in them is a good way to check how everything is level there at the bottom. So I was very happy with how level the bottoms of those footers were. But I also wanted to, the next day, start putting down the cages and the sonotubes. I got to get those cut to the proper height and everything like that. And what's going on here? Here we go. So I wanted to get all that stuff dried out and have everything ready to go. So all I had down there, I just had my spade and a rake. I had a rake because I was, you know, just cleaning up some of the area down there. Anyway, So maybe my third hole, I'm just literally scooping water out of the hole, just one little bit at a time with this spade that I had. And it just felt this little pinch, and that was it. Next thing I know, I am barely able to hop on the four-wheeler and ride it on back up to the house. I hobble up the stairs and I pop some muscle relaxers, and you know, this is where we were. So it's been three days or so now, and things are definitely on the mend, but it's just a process. So I'm definitely going to be taking it easy this week. So one of the projects I have, of course, it got kicked to the side here. I was going to start transferring the concrete to the bottom. That's delayed. I was going to have, you know, all those cages and the tubes and everything cut. That's delayed. The inspection still needs to happen. So I'm kind of just doing small things right now. One of the things I'm knocking out today are my termite shields. So on top of each pier is going to be a termite shield. It's a little piece of aluminum that you have kind of bent down, and it keeps the termites from getting up into the wood. Let me show you kind of what I have going on with that. So this is what I'm working with. This is actually a roll. This is 14 inches wide this way, and the roll is 50 feet long. Okay, but I'm cutting these out at 14 inches square. Okay, and those are actually I'm gonna put a little angle on them, just kind of angle them down towards the ground once they're on top of the piers, and then yeah, that'll keep the termites from hopping up in there. So one of the things you have to do, because these are going to be sitting on top of concrete, you have to separate the concrete from the aluminum, because there'll be a corrosive action by the concrete and the aluminum. So you have to separate it. So my plan is to, like I was saying, to have something separated, and that's either going to be a part of a shingle I may have sitting around, or some tar paper, something. I don't just want to buy something that I'm going to use, you know, just for that. If I could use tar paper, I'm probably going to use tar paper somewhere else, or, you know, just something that's got to separate the aluminum from the concrete. So that shouldn't be, you know, that much of a big deal. You just have to figure out what that material is going to be. So other than that, other than trying to figure out what that's going to be, there's not a whole lot really going on right now, just because of my back. So just trying to knock out a bunch of these little rainy day projects, stuff that doesn't need a whole lot of grunt work and stuff to go into it. So I'll knock out what I can, and what I can't is just obviously going to be delayed. So I think tomorrow, I believe tomorrow is Thursday, so we're mid-September time frame now. So tomorrow, depending on how I feel, I like to get the cages down to the holes, get the tubes in there, get them leveled off, cut them, and then secure them to where they are. And depending on where I'm at in that process tomorrow, I may call the inspector to come out on Friday. But that's all, you know, TBD. Depends on how things are going to go. So other than that, not too much going on. So anyway, hang in there. I got more stuff coming. Like I said, we're about to hit go time, really, with kind of working this thing out every day, actually showing some sort of progress as far as a structure goes. So, all right, guys, take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay.